Hi children, I am very happy to welcome you all once again to our social studies video class. And in the last video, we discussed about classification of resources. Under that, I told you the resources that are classified on the basis of exhaustibility. So on the basis of exhaustibility, there are two types of resources. They are renewable, number two, non-renewable. Do you remember? So the title of our lesson is Resources and Development. So under the title Resources and Development, in the last video, you have learnt about the two types of resources that come under exhaustibility. On the basis of exhaustibility, these two, renewable and non-renewable resources, are classified on the basis of exhaustibility. Already you have learnt about these exhaustible resources, especially they are number one renewable, number two non-renewable. On the basis of exhaustibility, two types of resources you have learnt. Number one renewable, number two non-renewable. So in the last video you discussed those two important types of resources, and now my dear children, let me tell you the resources which are classified on the basis of ownership. Now, so on the basis of ownership, again the resources are classified into four kinds. They are number one individual resources, number two community resources, number three national resources, and number four international resources. So these four are another type of resources which come under ownership. Okay, yes, they are classified on the basis of ownership. Okay, now let me tell you the first one, that is individual resources. First one, individual resources. Okay children, so under this individual resources, these resources are owned by private individuals. That's why they are called individual resources. That means the resources which are owned by individuals. Okay, yes, private individuals. Okay, yes, owned privately by individuals. So these are, or this type of resources are called individual resources. What are called individual resources? They are number one, examples: house, plantation, farmland, and other things. So whoever possess or own these independent sources, which are called individual resources. For example, having a house, or owning a house is an individual source. Plantation, an individual source. Having farmland, an individual source. So these sources come under individual sources. What are individual sources? The sources that are owned by private individuals are called individual sources. Okay, all that houses, plantation, farmland, and all our private belongings, all these come under individual sources. So this is the first kind of resource that come under ownership, on the basis of ownership. Okay, yes, this resource come under the basis of ownership. Have you understood, my dear children? And now the second one, that is called community resource. First one individual, now the second one community resource. What is community resource? These resources are acceptable to all, are accessible, they are accessible to all members, not only a single member, but here these resources are generally, they are accessible, they are open they are open to all individuals in the society or in the group. Okay, in the group or community, there are some resources which are open to all the members in that community. That means these resources are accessible to all the individuals or all the members in the community or group. And this type of resource which is termed as community resource. Okay, yes, that is community resource. And that means all the members in a group or community jointly, okay, collectively enjoy these resources. That is why they are called community resources. Let me tell you examples for the community resources. Number one, public parks. Next, burial ground. Next, ponds in village and other community related resources whatever we have, okay, in our community. All those come under the community resource. For example, public parks. Take for example public park. In a public park, generally we all go and sit there and enjoy that. Okay, yes, because it is not an individual property or resource, but it is a community resource which can be enjoyed by every member in the community or group. So public parks are generally enjoyed by all the members, okay, in a community. Okay, there are no distinctions, there are no what do we call differences there. So everybody can, okay, anyone can enjoy. Okay, yes. So that's why public park comes under the best example for a community resource. Burial ground, burial ground is also accessible to all. Okay, so that is also another important example. Likewise, ponds or wells, okay, in the villages, whatever they are. Okay, so all these come under the community resources. That means one thing you have to remember, these community resources are accessible to all the members of the community. That means all the members of the community can enjoy the resources, okay, in the community, okay, resources. Okay, in the community resources, all can enjoy these resources. Okay, this is about the second important community resources. Have you understood? Now let me tell you the third one, that is called national resource. Okay, individual resources, first one. Second one, community resource. And now the third one, national resource, my dear children. National resource. And this national resource, these resources are owned by the government, not the individuals, nor the community, but these resources are owned by the government. Yes, the government own some resources. Have you understood, my dear children? These resources do not belong to, or they do not belong to the community or individual persons, but these resources which are owned by the government. Okay, government have total control and authority over all these resources because the government owns all these resources. So these resources are owned by the government. Now let me tell you examples for these. What come under the national resources? They are roads, for example. Okay, roads, railways, coal mines, territorial sea. Okay, my dears. So all these come under national resources. So these resources are owned by the government. Okay, and the government allows the people, okay, yes, our communities, okay, to enjoy later these national resources. But anyhow, the ultimate authority is here enjoyed by the government over all these national resources. For example, roads can be used by all. Railways, everybody, okay, yes, all can use it. Okay, but whereas the total control over these resources here, the government has control over all these resources. Okay, roads, railways, coal mines, even coal mines also. Okay, yes, government owns the coal mines. Okay, not private individuals, but they belong to the government. And territorial seas, all that, territorial seas, okay, as sea water also, okay, all these are owned by the government. Okay, so the government enjoys the total control over these resources. That's why these resources are called national resources. Have you understood? Resources owned by government are called national resources. Have you understood, my dear children? Remember the example for this national resource: roads, railways, coal mines, territorial sea. And regarding the territorial sea, up to 12 nautical miles from the coast, okay, the nation or the country enjoys the power. Beyond that, okay, 12 or 100 above nautical miles, they go under international, okay, international waters, okay, yes. But up to 12 nautical miles, a nation can enjoy, okay, or it can control its territorial waters, okay. So that is called territorial sea. Up to 12 nautical miles, 12 nautical miles, that is approximately 22.2 kilometers, okay, yes. Up to that distance, a country can have the authority over its sea waters, okay. That is called territorial sea, okay, yes. From its coast, it enjoys this territorial, okay, powers, okay, over its sea waters or oceanic waters. That is called national resource. Ultimately, on the roads, railways, coal mines, territorial sea, the government enjoys okay, powers, okay. So this kind of resources that are owned by the government are called national resources. And fourth one, that is last one, international resource. International resources. The fourth kind is international resources. These resources are owned and regulated by international institutions, okay. Yes, these are not regulated by any particular country, but these, okay, resources, what they are? International resources. There are some international resources. I will tell you the examples now. These international resources, here the international institutions like UNO, okay, yes, enjoys powers, okay, yes, it enjoys powers over the international resources. Now let me tell you what are the international resources. Examples are the oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone belong to open ocean, and no individual country can utilize these, okay, resources, my dear children. So besides national resources, there are international resources too. So over these international resources, independent or individual countries do not have powers at all. But who will regulate these international resources? These international resources are regulated and controlled by international institutions like UNO. Have you understood, my dear? So the UNO and other international institutions enjoy power over the international what do we call resources. What come under international resources? Examples, now let me tell you, they are oceanic resources, that is beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone. Yes, 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone belong to open ocean, okay, yes, and no individual country can utilize these oceanic waters. Yes, who will have control? Who will control these? International institutions will, okay, control those oceanic waters, but no individual country can utilize or control these waters, okay. Yes, UNO, international organization, under its there are so many other branches are working. So those branches and institutions, international institutions, can control these okay, oceanic resources, okay. And this, that means the oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone belong to open ocean, and these oceans or these waters go into the purview of international institutions, okay, my dear children. So these are the four important kinds, okay. Yes, now children, now on the basis of status of development, again the resources are of four types. They are potential, developed, stock, and reserves. Now let me tell you about these four kinds, okay. These resources are classified on the basis of status of development, on the basis of status of development. Now listen it carefully. First one, potential resources. Now what are the potential resources? These are the resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized. These potential resources which are found in a region but they are, or they have not been utilized properly. They are, example, for example, state of Rajasthan and Gujarat. These two states have a good potential. Yes, They have a lot of good energies. What they are, I will tell you. Okay, wind energy, for example, state of Rajasthan, Gujarat have enormous potential. They have enormous potential for the development of wind and solar energy, but these have not been developed properly. Okay, and that should be properly developed, because technology should be used properly, and this wind energy and solar energy should be used properly. Okay, yeah. So in the state of Rajasthan and Gujarat, which are famous for wind energy and solar energy, but unfortunately they have not been used properly. Okay, yes, technology has to be utilized properly in this regard. And now second one, that the second type of resource on the basis of the status of development. Number one, potential, just before I told you. Now secondly, developed resources. What are the developed resources? Resources which are surveyed and their quality and quantity have been determined for utilization. Developed resources which are surveyed and their quality and quantity have been determined for utilization. Okay, that is the developed resources. The development of resources depends on technology. Particularly this developed resources particularly depends upon technology. Okay, if we don't use technology properly, then we cannot tap out, okay, or we cannot use energies properly. That is why here technology plays a very important role, and the development of resources mainly rests or depends upon technology. And then third one, stock. Okay, materials in the environment which have the potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology to access, these are called stock. For example, hydrogen and oxygen, okay, for example, in the water can be used as a rich resource, but unfortunately we lack a technology. Okay, due to lack of technology we are unable to use hydrogen and oxygen, these things. Okay, but unfortunately due to lack of technology we are unable to use hydrogen here. Okay, we have a lot of stock, okay, resource, but due to lack of technology we are unable to use it. That is the stock. Okay, materials in the environment which have the potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology. That means we lack a technology to access these stock resources. And last, fourth one, that is reserves. Okay, fourth one is reserves. The resources that have been surveyed and we can use them with the present technology, but their use has not been started, are known as reserves. For example, water in the dams. For example, we have wonderful dams and we have good forest cover, but unfortunately water in the dam, it is also not at all fully utilized in a proper way. Okay, water in the dams is not used properly, and forests are also not used properly. So that is why we have good reserves, but unfortunately they are not used properly. Why? Because due to lack of technology. So all these come under, my dear children, these four are the types of resources that come under the basis of status of development. Number one, potential. Number two, developed. Number three, stock. And fourth one, reserves, resources. Okay, have you understood, my dear children? And now let me tell you, development of resources. Okay, resources are compulsory for human survival as well as for maintaining the quality of life. These are very important for every individual. Okay, yes, for our survival these resources are important. It was believed that resources are free gifts of nature. We know very well nature gives us, okay, nature gives us as gift these resources, and it was believed that resources are free gifts of nature. As a result, man used them indiscriminately. Unfortunately, these resources are indiscriminately used by the people. Mindlessly we are using these resources. As a result, it led to or created so many problems. They are mainly depletion of resources, accumulation of resources in few hands, depletion of resources, they are disappear, resources are exhausted. Okay, yes, and depletion of resources, accumulation of resources in few hands, and global ecological crisis such as global warming, ozone depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. All these problems okay, will arise because all these problems arise because of indiscriminate use of resources. Indiscriminate use of resources created all these problems, my dear children. Okay, that come under the development of resources. And now in the next video, my dear children, I shall tell you more about the resources and development. Okay, my dear children, till then you please keep watching our videos and read the textbook. Okay, and if you have any doubts, call us. Okay, my dear children, thank you.